Hello and welcome not just to the Hungaroring on the outskirts of Budapest, but indeed to the start of the 2019 TCR Europe Series. It all starts here after a cracking season last year. I think everyone can't wait to get underway for the 2019 series. It's Mark James in the commentary box once again, but unusually, I'm not on my own this time. I'm delighted to announce that alongside me for this first race of the season is the 2017 TCR International Series winner, Jean-Carl Venet. JK, you're very welcome.
Hi Mark, hi everyone.
We'll talk about your weekend in a moment, but let's just talk about some of the names that we're seeing on the grid ahead of this weekend, and some familiar names and some perhaps not so familiar.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, great pole position from Matt Homola, and I mean, yeah, he showed that Target, the Hyundai is quite efficient on this track, and yeah, we saw 8 Hyundais in the top 12, so no, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I mean, a newcomer, Nelson Passiatisi, also started from the second row. I mean, it's I think it's going to be really exciting.
Also, we have obviously the TCR Eastern European Championship with us for this first weekend. So some unfamiliar names towards the back of the field, but we will be keeping an eye on them as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's I'm sure it's a good opportunity for them to fight against, let's say, more consistent driver and faster driver. So I think it's going to be a good experience for them.
Our cameraman handing over a nut gun. There is Matt Homola on pole position. You said that the Hyundais are doing pretty well this weekend. That's an understatement. All 4 positions on the front of the grid occupied by Hyundai i30N cars. Alongside Matt Homola on the grid, there is Andreas Beckman, delighted to beat P2. Perhaps an unfamiliar name, but he won a race in TCR UK last year, and another one of these young drivers moving up.
Yeah, I mean, he was, I think he did the last race of the TCR Europe last
Barcelona,
year.
yeah.
Yeah, with West Coast and the Volkswagen, and I mean, it's good for him. I mean, like he said, he was quite surprised, let's say, to be so much in front, but I mean, it's a good news. Target did a very, very good job putting like 3 or 4, even 5 cars in the top 10, and no, I think it's going to be, I can't wait for the starts to see how the guy's going to fight in the first corner.
Well, of course, you were with us in TCR Europe last year. You were fighting alongside this guy, Josh Files, pretty much until the end of the year. But the issue that you had was Zandvoort, where you were in WTCR and TCR Europe. You said at the end of the year it cost you. Tom Coronel is in the same position because he's in WTCR this weekend and will be with us in TCR Europe for the rest of the year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's good Tom is back in TCR Europe. I mean, he did few races in TCR Benelux, I think, and TCR International Series. And he's a really experienced guy, crazy and a funny guy.
Yes.
So I think it's good for the championship.
Lots of French names this year. Obviously, the Hyundai's is the most numerous car with 10. Lots of Peugeots. Julien Brichet we had last year. But also, you mentioned Nelson Passiatisi. Some of the names perhaps that we haven't seen before but would be well known in France.
Yeah, I mean, Nelson Passiatisi. I mean, he has already a pretty nice CV, won in ELMS, I think, a few times in LMP2. Pretty new in front-wheel drive. I think he saw that the WTCR and the TCR's environment is growing, and it's a good place to be. And no, I mean, he showed very good results. He's in a very, very good team, the M Racing. They know what they're talking about. They know the Hyundai from last year in WTCR. And yeah, great results. And other French people, Julien Brichet also did really, really good job. Great lap times if we compare his lap time compared to the other Peugeot. And let's see how it goes.
And there's a guy that was fighting again with you last year. Had some moments, let's say. Dusan Borkovic is back, and he's now a dad, so maybe that's calmed him down a little bit.
Let's hope so. I mean, he's a great guy. You have to know him. But yeah, sometimes he can be a little bit crazy. But no, I'm sure that maybe have him to be a little bit more chilly and consistent. And we saw Santiago Alicia, also a newcomer. He finished 2 times in the second place of the Indy Lights Championship, and made also the step to the front wheel drive. I think we have to watch him during the whole season because he has a good car, an Audi car. He's a part of a good team, WRT, and he's going to do good.
Yeah, Santiago is actually on pole for race 2 with the reversed grid, which brings me nicely on to talk about you because we've just had the WTCR qualifying session. You were 10th, which means you start race 2 from pole. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was great qualifying. It's not a circuit for for the hardy, let's say, to compete for the pole position. Target was to score heavy points. We did it yesterday, and we're in good position for today. So I think it's a pretty good result. I'm really happy and really thankful to my team and Audi and sponsors Leopard.
Okay, let's concentrate then on race 1 of TCR Europe 2019. The second year that it's this format. TCR Europe in the past has been a one-race shootout. It's been a trophy series. Last year, a full series, won, of course, by Mikel Azcona from Spain, who's made the move up to WTCR. He's here this weekend. But as I say, some familiar names and some new. If you're joining us for the first time, you're very welcome. This is the Hungaroring, basking not in the same kind of sunshine that we've had all week, something like 25, 26 degrees for much of the week. It was wet overnight Friday into Saturday, so a damp track yesterday. This morning, some rain early on, and it is now brightening up as the cars, total grid of 37 cars setting off on their formation lap. And I should also mention Luca Engstler starting right at the back of the grid. Bitter disappointment for him. Had a big moment in qualifying yesterday, went off at turn 1, virtually destroyed the car, and the guys worked hard through the night to rebuild it. So you will see Luca Engstler, one of the Hyundai Young Driver program, right at the back of the grid, former double champion in TCR. And you'll see him hopefully carving his way through the field. But I think to get into the points, top 15 will be scoring points this year. It's a bit of an ask for young Luca Engstler. He's TCR Asia, second in TCR Germany, TCR Middle East champion, one TCR Malaysia. So like Josh Files, a multiple TCR champion, what can he do from the back of the grid? As the cars make their way round then the circuit here at the Hungaroring.
It was also pretty good qualifying for the Renault. I mean, I don't think people were waiting for such a good result from John Filippi and
no.
P10. I mean, P12, sorry. Pretty interesting for the first time in TCR Europe for the Renault Megane.
In fact, there is Filippi slowing at the bottom of your screen as he just went through. 2 Renault Meganes here. John Filippi, as JK was saying, qualified 12th, and a bit further back, 12th row of the grid, Alex Morgan from the UK in the Wolf Power Racing car. Lots of little issues, as you'd imagine at this time of the year, from not enough testing and cars being delivered late and so forth. I know Alex didn't get into his car for the first time until yesterday and drove it around the lap slowly to get into position for the team photo, the family photo we took yesterday, on Friday, excuse me. And even that one slow lap threw up some issues. Yesterday in qualifying, intercooler pipe came off, so bit of a fraught weekend. There you see the cars starting to form up on the grid. There is Alex on the left-hand side of your screen. In fact, no, that is John Filippi, excuse me. The 2 Renaults in the classic Renault Motorsport colour scheme of yellow, black and white. Subtle differences between the two, which we'll explain as we go on. But the big news here from Hungary is that the first 4 places on the grid are occupied by Hyundai i30 cars. Matto Homola on pole, Andreas Beckmann alongside him, and row 2 of the grid, Nelson Ponciatici and Josh Files.
It's going to be difficult for the last guys to see the lights as they're still in the last corner.
They actually have a marshal with a green flag just to let them know when the race has started.
Let's see how it goes to the first corner. I think it's going to be very exciting.
There is Luca Engstler. So that's the back of the grid. The green flag waves. We are moments away then from the start of the 2019 TCR Europe Series. The lights go on. The revs rise. The lights go out and we're away.
And you have to say, Magnus.
Homola makes a better start and somebody's already stalled on the grid. And I think there's already been contact, judging by the bodywork, as Matto Homola heads down to the downhill right-hand hairpin, hard on the brakes, turn 1. Big issue here a couple of years ago in TCR International. Big pile-up coming through turn 1A, that slight right-hander. One of the Audis, I think it was, on the
very
grass
good,
there.
Very good start from Urusha. Till now.
Oh, that's Urusha.
Yeah.
Urrutia, excuse me.
It's unfortunate for him. And Brechet took a good start also. He was P3. He's actually P3.
Yep. So Brichet has made up from 6th on the grid to P3 already. Very well behaved so far, you have to say.
Yeah.
As we were expecting, with 37 cars on the grid, we'd have a bit more carnage than this. So Mato Homola leads then from Josh Files, from Julien Brichet. As you say, JK, the Peugeot up into 3rd place already.
Yeah, Magnus struggled a lot at the start, lost a few places. I mean, it's rookie in front-wheel drive, so he has to learn a bit after a very, very good qualifying.
Yellow flags at turn 2, so Urrutia then still off track.
Yeah, it was quite risky to go outside in turn 2. We know that when you're outside, you are not in a good position. If people goes a little bit wide, then they're going to push you, and that's what happened.
Through turn 13 for the first time then, and up to turn 14, this long right-hand hairpin that gets them back onto the start-finish straight. But they'll be straight into yellow flags in the first sector. So then, at the end of lap 1, Mato Homola leads from Josh Files, from Julien Brichet, Nelson Ponciatici, Aurélien Comte, Dusan Borkovic, Danny Nage, Gilles Magnus, Luca Filippi and John Filippi. Luca Filippi is another name that we really should talk about, new to TCR Europe, but not new to racing. It's IndyCar.
Yeah, he raced in GP2 in IndyCar. He had some really very good results on podium in IndyCar. Yeah, I mean, new guys again in front-wheel drive. I think it's going to be, yeah, I mean, good opportunity for him, and we are waiting for him a little bit more than the qualifying from yesterday. But I mean, let's see how it goes during the season.
That answers a question. Biel's rear sporting some damage, so that was the problem we saw on the start line, being collected by the looks of things by Maxime Potti's Volkswagen. Circumstantial evidence, but the positioning would add up, as we saw briefly there. Urrutia pulling off at turn 2. Still yellows then at turn 2 for the time being. Andreas Beckmann we've hardly mentioned. He's already down in 16th place. Now, I didn't see what happened to Andreas, or indeed Jessica, the two Beckmann siblings. Jessica's down in 13th, Andreas down in 16th.
Yeah, after such a good qualifying, it's a bit of a shame, but maybe he was in trouble in turn 1 and 2.
Now, the incident involving Urrutia is under investigation, we're told.
I mean, it's racing contact. He was side by side. It was just
and as you say, a brave move around the outside of turn 2.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful, especially for the first race. You have to score points, and maybe he should have been a little bit more quiet and wait for another opportunity. But yeah, it is what it is. He has to learn also. It's first season in touring car.
Maxime Potti in the pits to get that damage repaired. As we look at the race leaders, Julien Brichet up alongside Josh Files. Files, though, has the line for turn 2. And indeed keeps second place. Now, Brichet's flashing his lights. We're seeing that there are yellow flags in the first sector, but I didn't see flags at the marshal's post. So is that an error, I wonder?
I think so. Maybe there's still some parts on the straight from the crash at the start.
So at the moment then, Hyundai 1 and 2, Brichet in the Peugeot still 3rd, Ponciatici in the M Racing Honda is 4th, and M Racing, the M standing for Muller. It's Ivan Muller's team with Ivan's wife Justine as team manager.
Yeah, very professional, very serious team with a lot of experience coming from Ivan, of course. And yeah, I think it's going to be a guys we need to watch for the championship.
Green flag now at turn 2. So indeed, the issue involving Santiago Urrutia in the Audi resolved at turn 2. So we are full green again.
And Comte also took a very good start. He's P5 now, starting from P14. So it's a very good start of a race from the other Peugeot.
Yep.
I mean, they were very, very quick here last year in TCR Europe and also in WTCR. It's a light car, as we know, and very, very efficient on a tricky circuit like here.
Now, you know the Volkswagen Golf. You used to drive it in the International Series. Indeed, it's the car that took you to the title. We've got a number of Golfs here, including West Coast Racing. The evergreen Gianni Morbidelli is partnered with the young Finn Ollie Kangas. We briefly saw one of the red West Coast Racing Golfs a moment or two ago. As this is a scrap worth watching, I think Brichet is just breathing down the neck of Josh Files. And that's Poncia TC, who's just tucked away in the background. And, yep, confirmation that Urrutia is well and truly out of this first race. Now, he's due to start race 2 from pole. So let's see if... and that the car doesn't look damaged.
No, they didn't touch, obviously, but... I hope it didn't break the front right suspension.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense. He didn't actually touch the barrier, so you'd think that there's something broken there which would cause him to go off.
So what's going on with the fights between Brichet and Fies? I think it's going to be exciting. Because Brichet won't give up, that's for sure. Know him. And Fies is defending pretty well.
Both of them had weekends to forget here last year. Files did a DNF in race 1 and then finished on the podium in race 2. Brichet got a drive-through last year, if you were with us at the Hungaroring.
After pushing Tassi, I think, in turn 13. No, 10, yeah, 10, the fast left.
So we've done 4 laps. Just as last year, TCR Europe running to a
Bakovic
time as Borkovic goes up the inside of Comte. And Borkovic will have the line for the left-hander. Let's just watch this little battle as Comte just moves across. Borkovic defends and indeed holds the line. That's one of the Mira cars, I think, just behind, isn't it?
Yeah, Nagy.
Yes, indeed, 99 is Danny Naj. Possible jump start, 2 and 88. 2 is...
Stéphane Lemray on the Honda.
And Lemray is in the car that Tom Coronel will be using from Hockenheim onwards. So Lemray is here to score points, hopefully, for Boutsen Gignon. And 88 is Maxime Potti.
Yeah. Anyway, I think Maxime Potti is retired already.
Yeah.
I think he was a part of the incidents at the start with Nathan Biel.
Yeah, Biel is also in the pits. So
he was starting right in front of Maxime Potti. Maybe Biel stalled at the start, and he couldn't avoid him. We saw that his front right bumper was completely damaged.
I did mention TCR Eastern Europe earlier. Well, we've got a slight breathing space. Just time to mention that it's Milovan Vesnic who was with us last year. He's in 331. He's currently in 22nd place overall, but leading the TCR Eastern Europe field. 8 entries for TCR Eastern Europe, and they'll be back with us again at the end of the season in Monza. Ooh.
Yeah, Engstler trying to...
You could see that move being set up, but there wasn't really the gap that he was hoping for. So as I was saying, the race is run to a duration, 23 minutes plus 1 lap. As Danny Naj is scrapping with the Peugeot. So Naj just going through in the Hyundai. Then it's Aurélien Comte, so that's the battle for 6th place. Borkovic there already up the road. And just behind Comte is Gilles Magnus in the Audi.
Might have a possibility to overtake him at the end of the straight, the main straight before turn 1.
He's certainly having a look. Halfway through the race then, 23 minutes plus 1 lap, as I was saying. We're already 5 laps into the race. We're on lap 6.
I'm quite impressed by the Bachmann brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I mean, they did really an amazing qualifying, and I mean Jennifer is
Jessica.
Jessica, sorry.
Yep.
is just
Oh, drive-through
at the top 10.
penalties.
Yeah, for the both.
For both jump starts then. So there is confirmation from race control. So the 2 cars, Maxime Potti in the Volkswagen, well, that's not going to happen because he's in the pits. He's not going to be serving that. And Stefan Lemeret in the Boots and Gignon Honda will be serving.
Yeah. And Magnus passed Aurélien Comte.
Ah. Okay, so Borkovic is 5th. Let's run through the positions for you.
Nice pass from Gilles Magnus. Looks like Aurélien Comte is struggling with his tire. He's losing places and places.
And that's one of the Beckmans. You see the Swedish flag in the second of those 2 Hyundais. And it's Jessica, car 26, back in 11th place. Luca Filippi in 10th.
And yeah, gonna be a nice fight for Jessica. I mean, she's close. Looks a little bit quicker than Luca Filippi. Must be a weird situation for Luca, coming from IndyCar, making some podiums and winning some races in GP2, and now fighting for a top 10 and having a ladies right behind.
But you also have to say it's only Jessica's second season in TCR. She did karting, was national champion in karting, did TCR UK, TCR Scandinavia last year, finished on the podium at Brands Hatch, I remember. This year they've put an awful lot of effort. They've changed from West Coast to Target. Target competition running 5 cars here. And Jessica and her brother Andreas spent an awful lot of time testing during the winter and is already up there. Quickest in free practice 2. And Andreas was 2nd quickest behind Homola.
And Target is very, very impressive team, and I mean they have many cars, which is pretty good. They have good drivers, so they can compare themselves to good guys and just learn and try to improve themselves. And Target is doing very, very good job on development drivers. So I mean, we saw the gap between last year and this year, and the Bachmans did a huge step forward. So it's good. And the fight's going to be quite intense because Brechet, I think the Peugeot are struggling. Brechet was pushing hard at the beginning of the race. Maybe he shouldn't, because now he's in trouble. With
Maribo Coppens in the Cupra, upgraded. She was in a DSG car last year. That car's been upgraded now to a sequential gearbox, as we're looking at the battle for 3rd between Julien Brechet in the Peugeot and Nelson Panciatici in the Hyundai.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Brechet to stay up front. You can see he's really, really struggling. Start to be a little bit wide.
Yellow flag at turn 11. I don't know why. To confirm then, Mato Homola has a lead of just over a second from Josh Files. Julien Brechet and Nelson Panciatici we were seeing there in 3rd and 4th. Borkovic is up to 5th. Danny Nage now 6th. Gilles Magnus 7th. Aurélien Comte 8th. Gianni Morbidelli, we mentioned earlier, up to 9th. Luca Filippi 10th. Jessica Beckman 11th. Teddy Claret is 12th in a Peugeot. Andreas Beckman 13th. Jean Filippi in the Renault 14th. And Jimmy Claret in another of the Peugeots is 15th. So those are the point scoring positions here at the Hungaroring, with just a whisker over 8 minutes plus 1 lap of this race remaining.
What can be funny to watch is Brechet holding a bit Panciatici and then Dushan coming back. And we're going to have a nice fight for the 3rd position between those guys. If Brechet is able to hold a bit Panciatici for a few laps, I think it's going to be a really very exciting end of a race.
Any particular favourites among that? Julien Brechet, I guess, being French.
Okay, Panciatici passed. Brechet.
Oh, a little bit of a nudge there between
Bachmann.
Jessica.
Yeah.
Oh, and his
move.
body damage as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good move.
Jessica at times last year drove a bit with her elbows out. I think she needs to just maybe calm down a little bit.
I mean, she was side by side, so I mean, she didn't push from behind. I mean, it was good. It's touring car, that's why we're watching all these races.
You say that with a big smile on your face.
I had to learn. I had to learn. I took some penalties at the beginning, 3 years ago when I started. But as soon as you get more experience, it's pretty funny races.
So 8 and 44. Eight and 44. Lilu Wadu, we've hardly mentioned, the young...
With Nudge.
With Nudge, okay. No, 88. Yeah, I think that's a mistake on our timing screen. So that's under investigation. So we saw Jessica Beckman just muscling past Luca Filippi a moment ago. Andreas Beckman has done the same with Teddy Claret. So Jessica now P10, Andreas P12. Dusan does seem to be catching that battle, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's coming, and Filippi is on a weird rhythm. I mean, he's 1 second slower than Jessica Beckman, and also a brother, Andreas, who is right behind Filippi.
Adam Morgan at the moment in the second of the Renaults, just outside the points. Just 3/10 or so behind Jimmy Claret. Would be good for both of the Renaults to be picking up points here. We've not really seen much of the Renault Megane RS, but at the moment, John Filippi P14, Alex Morgan P16. And it's Filippi in the Vukovic car, Vukovic being the developer, the builder of the Renault Megane, and Adam Morgan in the Wolf Power car. Slipping
good
just back.
pass from Andreas. They should leave the car in the straight. Audi, which is stopped in the straight line, they should remove it from the track because it's a little bit.
It's passive.
This is
yeah,
this is borderline.
Yep.
Because yeah, and they're gonna pass.
Filippi runs wide, comes back on the track, but Andreas just gives way.
Too nice. Maybe his sister
very,
is
very early in the season.
Yeah. I mean, he did the job. I mean, passing him into turn one, he should have been a little bit more aggressive to make sure that he's up front.
New front end on Andreas's car after the issues yesterday. Several red flags during free practice 2 and qualifying. Andreas the cause of one of them in FP2, and the team not having time to put a new coloured front end on. That's why he's running the black nose. The incident involving 8 and 44, no further action. Ah, 8 is Luke Engstler, of course, who's running P20 at the moment, so starting from the back of the grid after the issues yesterday, and Luke Engstler still outside the points.
Yeah, he was already like 4 laps ago behind Lilu Wadu.
Yep.
And apparently he can go forward.
You have to say, though, Lilu is doing well. She's currently P19, just behind David Kajaya. And Kajaya, a familiar name from the International Series days in the Alfa Romeo, but Kajaya in a Cupra this season after sitting out last year. The clock then steadily ticking down, just over 3 minutes plus 1 lap of this opening race of the TCR Europe season remaining. Matto Homola has a 1.2 second lead over his target competition teammate, Josh Files. Nelson Panciatici is third ahead of Julien Brichet, then it's Dusan Borkovic.
Yeah, and Andreas Beckman just passed Luca Filippi.
So it's Andreas now just behind his sister. Jessica P10, Andreas is P11, Luca Filippi is...
Big lockup.
Well, yeah, going into turn 2. Best lap of the race so far, Nelson Panciatici with a 1:54.764. And I mentioned the Hyundai Young Driver Initiative. 4 drivers here this weekend sporting the Hyundai Young Driver logos, either on their cars or on their overalls, or indeed on both. The 2 Beckmans, Danny Nagy and Luca Enschler, all part of that program, which is designed to find the Hyundai touring car stars of the future, and will be kept an eye on all season. Invited to a WTCR race and also invited to test the best of them with the BRC team, with a view potentially of moving up from Europe into WTCR, which is one of the ideas, if you like, behind TCR, to take young drivers from national to regional to international.
Last lap for those, no, 2 laps ago for those guys.
Yep. So it's when the clock hits 0, then when the leader passes the start-finish straight, it'll be 1 more lap after that.
Then Fires is coming back on Matt.
Half a second. Yeah, 0.5 of a second between the 2. Will Josh put pressure on Matto?
Well,
points make prizes.
We'll see. Yeah, for sure, between P1, I mean, it's always better to win this. It's the biggest gap between 1 and 2 about points. And but I don't think they should take a risk. The first race of the championship.
Absolutely. Long season.
1-2 for targets.
1-2-3 for Hyundai at the moment.
Exactly. So I don't think Josh gonna take risk. I mean, he won 2 TCR Germany championship. I think he's aware about how to win a championship, and it's not taking huge risk for the first race of the season.
Concentration on the faces of the target competition mechanics as they head down through turn 12, which is the right-hander, turn 13, the uphill left hairpin, and then 14 ahead of them, which will spit them back out onto the start-finish straight. There is Justine on the right of your screen, Ivan Muller's wife and team manager of M Racing. More than happy, I suspect, with Nelson Ponciatici and his first race. So we are indeed on the final lap. That worked nicely as the leader, Matto Homola, comes across the start-finish line. Yellow flag at turn 1. Who's gone off there, I wonder? Who's that in the...
Seat.
It's one of the Eastern European competitors. Was that Knego, I think? So then we're on course for a Hyundai 1-2-3. In total, 29 entrants for TCR Europe here. 7 car brands represented, 10 of them being Hyundai and 6 being Peugeot, to give you an idea of the kind of balance. But Hyundai Motorsport will be more than happy with the way the season is starting. Matto Homola leads Josh Files by a whisker over 0.8 of a second, with Nelson Ponciatici in 3rd. Then it's Julien Brichet in the Peugeot, Dusan Borkovic, Danny Nagy, both of them in Hyundai's, Gilles Magnus in the first of the Audis, Aurelien Comte, Jenny Morbidelli, Jessica, and then Andreas Beckman, 10th and 11th, Luca Filippi in 12th, Teddy Claret, John Filippi, and Jimmy Claret. That's rounding off the point-scoring positions down to 15th place.
Yeah, it's where Hyundai were complaining in Morocco in WTCR about the BOP.
Now, I did wonder if you were going to bring up BOP.
And now they're easily winning the TCR Europe. They are in pole WTCR. Suddenly found like 2nd between yesterday and 2 days. It's weird, huh?
Let's just celebrate. Matto Homola heads up for the line. He says, trying to avoid the politics. Matto Homola takes the checkered flag. The first winner of the TCR Europe season. Happiness too for Nelson Ponciatici for 3rd place. 1-2-3 then for the Hyundais. 1st and 2nd for target competition. M Racing's Ponciatici 3rd. Julien Brichet is 4th. Borkovic is 5th. Danny Nagy 6th. Gilles Magnus 7th. Aurelien Comte 8th. Gianni Morbidelli 9th. Jessica Beckman 10th. Andreas Beckman 11th. Luca Filippi 12th. Teddy Claret 13th. John Filippi 14th in the Renault. And Jimmy Claret in 15th in the Peugeot. Adam Morgan finishing 0.4 of a second or so behind Claret, and so no points for Adam. No Martin Rieber from Brutal Fish. David Kajaya also, and Luca Engschler recovered to finish 19th, but outside the points. So, thoughts on the first race of the season, JK?
I think it's going to be a very exciting championship. I mean, the guy who's going to win the championship will have to be very, very consistent. And I mean, we have great drivers, experienced driver also, and a newcomer with a lot of different experience, like Luca Filippi. So I think it's going to be exciting and difficult to know how he's going to win. I mean, there's how's he going to be super quick in the fast track, and there's many fast track like Spa, like Monza, like Red Bull Ring. So I think we're going to see a lot of different winners. And no, I mean, it's difficult to tell. At least even like who is going to be in the top 5. There's too many good guys this year who can win, and yeah, it's going to be the guys who is the most consistent. But just to finish, I hope WRT going to be able to repair the car of Santiago, Russia. We're going to start in pole for race 2. It would be a shame if the pole sitter not going to be able to start the race. But yeah, good first race.
You enjoyed that then, because there's been talk about the quality of WTCR this year being very, very high. TCR Europe is pretty good too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, the whole TCR thing is growing up. I mean, started 4 or 5 years ago now, and it's growing up year per year, and now we have, I think, WTCR, one of the best championship in the world, and TCR Europe, which is like the GP2 of it. I mean, of the Formula 1 kind of, and now everybody, all the driver wants to be a part of that, and it's great.
Confirmation then of Matto Homola's victory, 0.4 of a second ahead of Josh Files, Nelson Ponciatici in third, Julien Brichet, Dusan Borkovic, Danny Nage, Gilles Magnus, Aurélien Comte, Gianni Morbidelli, Jessica Beckman, Andreas Beckman, Luca Filippi, Teddy Claret, John Filippi, and Jimmy Claret rounding off the points scoring positions. And I was just laughing a moment ago as you were talking, because the marshals flagging the cars around, you probably didn't see, there were 4 of them all linked arms dancing at the side of the track, so brilliant. And confirmation also, we mentioned TCR Eastern Europe, and it's Vesnic in 331, finished 21st overall. Milovan Vesnic in the Cupra TCR, who took the win, finishing 4 seconds, excuse me, ahead of Galash. Galash in 324, which I wasn't sure if that was the car that was parked up. Yachin Galash in a Golf GTI finishing in second, and it's a slight gap back to Jakub Wiszomerski from Poland in a Civic. So 3 different car brands in TCR Eastern Europe, but that's very much not the case in TCR Europe. All 3 positions taken by Hyundai i30N cars. There is our race winner. Matto Homola, car number 70, Target Competition, takes the win. On the right-hand side of your screen, the M Racing Hyundai of car number 12, Nelson Ponciatici, and we're waiting for Josh Files to come in, but there is the shot. There is a delighted Matto Homola who takes the victory. And still points this year for the top 5 in qualifying. So 40 points for the win. A new scoring system this year with points all the way down to 15th place. So our early points leader after just 1 race and the qualifying, Matto Homola. I'm not sure if you can hear the air horns going off. The commentary box is positioned at the top of the stand overlooking the start-finish straight, looking across into the pits. Josh Files seems pretty happy as well, but all we can hear below us is air horns going off. The Hungarian fans, I think Danny Nage is the quickest of the Hungarian drivers, finishing P6, but they seem pretty happy with Matto Homola's victory.
It's a good one too for the team. I mean, it brings confidence for the rest of the weekend for the championship, and they're gonna be strong. It's a team who knows also how to win. They did it with Stefano Comini. They did it with other drivers. So I think they are maybe the main contender of the championship.
I also like the feeling within the team. It's a nice, friendly team. It's a nice atmosphere. Anyway, let's hear from our race winner, Matto Homola.
Matto Homola, a fantastic way to start the season. You converted pole position into a great victory.
Yeah, I'm speechless a little bit, I must say. It was perfect race. I was kind of the key was the good start. Honestly, I didn't do any practice start till this start, so I was a little bit nervous. Also in the night, I was a little bit nervous. But the team gave me a lot of advices how to start with the car really good, and you could see that it was pretty good start. And then I was trying to control the others behind me. Josh was really fast. He was really pushing like hell. So whole race I need to push. So it was really good without any mistake. And I thank to the team first of all, because they did a really good job with the setup and with preparing of the car. To my sponsors, because without them I wouldn't be here. And yeah, to all of supporters, all my fans, because it's really nice to be here and win again.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Matto Homola, thumbs up from him. He was talking to Fabio Ravaioli. They will be heading up very shortly to the podium. There is Nelson Panciotisi, a new face for us. I was chatting to him yesterday and very, very pleased. Was saying he had issues with the car's understeer, but clearly that's been sorted out. Let's see what he can do in race 2 this afternoon. I need to say thanks to my co-commentator, Jean-Carl. It's been an absolute pleasure. I think you need to go and have a debrief, don't you?
Yeah, the race is pretty soon. But thank you, Mark. It was a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to have the TCR community and watch these guys in TCR Europe. So have a good end of the day, and yeah, see you soon.
Bon chance.
Thank you.
We shake hands, and JK heads off back down to the pits to prepare for WTCR Race 2 later on this afternoon. We've got the small matter of TCR Europe Race 2 to go a little bit later on this afternoon. Our live stream begins at 2:20 local time, 2:20 Central European time, 12:20 GMT if you're with us for Race 2. But we're not quite done with Race 1 yet. We have the podium to come in a few short minutes as the celebrations from Target Competition. Matto Homola then winning from Josh Files and Nelson Panciotisi. Hyundai 1, 2, 3, Peugeot 4, Hyundai 5 and 6, Audi 7, Peugeot 8. 9 was Volkswagen for Morbidelli. 10 was another Hyundai. 11 was another Hyundai. 12 was another Hyundai. And then Claire for Peugeot, Filippi for Renault, and Claire brother in another Peugeot, rounding up the top 15 places. Vesnic, I mentioned, wins the TCR Eastern European class in his Cupra by finishing 21st overall. And of the non-finishers, Maribo Coppens, you saw parked up. Maxime Potti, we saw in the pits. Nathan Biel, we saw in the pits. And as JK was mentioning before he went, Santiago Urrutia in the Audi is down to start race 2 from pole position, but the last we saw of him was the car parked up and Santiago making his way back towards the pits. There is our race winner. I think that's Martin Reber's car parked up behind as we prepare for the first podium ceremony of TCR Europe 2019. I briefly saw Paulo Ferreira just pop his head around, the promoter of TCR Europe, who I suspect will be presenting the prizes. But first out, to the delight of the M Racing team, Nelson Panciotisi for finishing 3rd in his first TCR Europe race. A lot of it is all new to him, so congratulations. Josh Files finishes in 2nd place, getting his championship ambitions off to a good start. But our first winner of the 2019 TCR Europe Series is Matto Homola, who takes the top step of the podium. A team representative will take the team's prize. The Slovakian national anthem, something we haven't heard for quite some time. I'm actually very pleased for Mato, having commentated on him in the TCR International Series, where victories so often eluded him. Not this time. Mato Homola becomes the first race winner of the 2019 TCR Europe campaign, picking up the trophy as he holds it aloft. And there is Paolo presenting the target competition team with their trophy. And congratulations for all of our drivers. Walter Gummera briefly saw there. Father of the Gummera twins, Andreas and Marcus, who run the team. And Josh Files completing a very good day's work for target competition, although of course there is the small matter of race 2 this afternoon. What can Target do in that race? Dusan Borkovic will be starting from the front row of the grid in race 2. So can Target make it 2 wins from 2 races? Yves Baclen, chair of the stewards. And that trophy, in case you're wondering, is TCR Benelux. Slightly confusing because TCR Benelux, for drivers and teams registered in the Netherlands, Luxembourg or Belgium. And you wouldn't have thought target competition qualified, but officially it's target competition with Autodis, who are based in Luxembourg. So 3 of their drivers, Homola, Files and Borkovic, are eligible for TCR Benelux, which is the trophy, the second trophy that Mato Homola got. Just a small swig of champagne, because there's the small matter of another race still to come this afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of race 1 here at the Hungaroring. My thanks once again to Jean-Carl Venet for keeping me company in the commentary box. I'll have another gentleman with me for race 2 a little bit later on, who knows more than a bit about winning TCR races and indeed championships. For now, though, thanks for joining us here at the Hungaroring. We're back on air wherever you're watching us in the world at 2 Central European time for race 2. We'll see you then.